you from wherever you are watching us from. Thank you so much for tuning in to Y254 TV. This is your #1 youth station right here. We are coming to you live from the Broadcasting Corporation right here in Nairobi, Kenya. We are also streaming live through our website, and that's at www.kbc.co.ke/Y254. Thank you so much for tuning in and sticking with us on this fine Thursday evening. My name is Aguko, and this is Power Talk. It's a pleasure to be with you, and I hope you've been well and you've had a fantastic day. Now tonight, let's talk about financial freedom. I know many people have been asking asking themselves about how they can attain financial freedom. It is an issue for a majority of youths. I know it, you know it. Now the question is, how can you attain financial freedom? Now, is it possible that you can be financially freedom at a young age? Is it possible that you can be financially free regardless of the fact that you are dating? Should you get into a relationship before, during, or after attaining financial freedom? Let's talk about these issues here, right here on this discussion. And of course, joining me in studio, to my far right, I'm with Bob Kiiru, who is a banker and, of course, a law student. Karibu sana, Bob.
Thank you very much.
How are you feeling, my brother?
I'm feeling good.
And of course, next to him is Chebet Cheres Sylvia. She's a media practitioner. Karibu sana, Chebet.
Thank you so much, Ram.
How are you feeling?
Great.
Both of you are looking lovely.
Thank you. You look great as well.
Gracias. I welcome your feedback from home. From wherever you're watching us from, be part of this discussion. Okay, so head over to our Facebook page. So what I want you to do is to follow that page. That's at Y254. Ensure that you like the page and scroll down to the post of the day where you've posted the question about how you can attain financial freedom. What are the tips that you can give to us? And of course, even as we proceed with this evening discussion, I'll talk about the road to financial freedom. We shall sample your feedback a bit later on. Ensure that you also let us know where you're watching us from. Okay, and I'll be glad to read those comments that you have posted right here. The hashtag is Power Talk Show on Twitter. That's at Aguko, which is my handle, and the official station handle is at Y254 channel. Let's talk Power Talk. Bob, and I will start with you.
Yes.
Because you're a banker.
Yes, sir.
And I'm really interested in finding out, first of all, before we get into the nitty-gritties, financial freedom, by definition, in your own way.
Yes.
What does it mean for Bob to be financially free?
Thank you very much. For Bob to be financially free, and financial freedom in my perspective, I think of it as having the ability to make financial decisions without really having to look into what does my parents offer, and basically it's having that caution to make decisions, and even to, if it is purchase, if it is payment of bills, it is really having the caution and knowing that I have enough cash flow and the ability to even make ends meet. That is freedom to me. Yes.
Okay. Chebet, what is financial freedom for you?
Financial freedom for me, I would say, is being able to live above my means. You know how we say live below your means or live within your means? I think for me it would be being able to live above and beyond what I can afford. Our day-to-day purchases, as Bob has said. I think that to me is financial freedom, when you have unlocked a new level of wealth, I would say. That is financial freedom to me.
Okay.
Yeah.
When you have some wealth stored up for yourself.
Yes, for your even generations to come. I think that is financial freedom. Yeah.
And for you, when you can afford to do something without depending on somebody.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, by my own means, by my own ability, with my own card, basically having that ability to go forth and do what I want financially.
Now, both definitions are a bit different.
Indeed.
For yours, it's about storage, and for you, it's about usage.
Yes, the running of my daily lives and
Yes.
investments.
Yes. Now, I want us to come to common ground here. When it comes to storage and usage, where is it that we can find true financial freedom? Because now we are looking at somebody who is saying, you know what, I want to save. And let me quote the Bible. The Bible says a wise man leaves an inheritance for his children and his children's children.
Indeed.
Hallelujah. So, is financial freedom defined by how much you store and how much you save? Or is it defined by how much you use and spend? Chebet.
Wow, I would have had the
I'm with you.
expert
I am with you.
start with that. That's a very
For
good
you,
question. That's
yeah?
a very, very good question. I think it's being able to play both cards. I think it's being able to
Save and spend at the same time.
at the same time. That's actually what financial freedom is.
Okay.
To be able to spend. You know, there's a joke that was online for so many years that one day I hope to be so rich that I walk into a supermarket and purchase without looking at the price
The
tag.
price tag.
I think that is
Yeah,
the first step to,
I get it.
you know, you're not there with your calculator kwanza right now when the, you know, life is, you know, crazy. The economy is, you know, high up there, you know. Imagine just being able to walk into a supermarket, grab this, grab that, you know,
That
and
is
just
financial
and
freedom.
then they tell you it's 20,000 and you don't flinch, or they say it's 100K and you don't flinch. I think that first of all is freedom, but that's just one aspect of it. I'm sure he'll tell us
That's
that. Yeah.
one aspect. And I'm looking at this person who, before you go or enter a supermarket, you must check your phone.
You must have your calculator with you.
And you, when you put something in the trolley, you plus, and then you put another plus. You are not yet financially free. So you take on that.
I would marry her idea on saving to mine when it comes to you cannot spend what you do not have.
Yeah.
And in that regard, if my idea of freedom includes spending and doing what I want with my life, with my money, I therefore need to have a fund, a place where I'm getting money. And in this case, I not only need to look at savings, I can look at my income, I can look at dividends from wherever. Basically, it's having that capability to and the choice to do what you want because you have a cushion. That is because your wallet, and you're aware that you don't have to do the calculation because at the end of the day, you know what you actually have, and you don't have to call your parents because of it. If she wants to, you asked a question initially. If you're dating, or can you date and still be financially free? And in that regard, if actually she wants to go somewhere, or I want to go somewhere, my birthday is next week, then I want to be financially free to do what I want.
When's your birthday?
On the 9th.
9th. 9th is on a Friday.
Thursday. It should be on a Thursday.
No,
Is it
it's
no?
a Friday.
It's Friday.
He doesn't even know his birthday.
Looks like my weekend for my birthday should start on a Thursday. Thank you.
Happy birthday in advance.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, from the Power Talk family. We pray that you get financial freedom.
Indeed. Indeed.
Now, I want us to yet get into some other details and divide this conversation.
Yes.
Yeah, I love that we are saying that financial freedom is all about how much you save, how much you spend, and the limitation that is there is not being felt by the person who is, taking these two actions.
Yes.
You don't feel limited when you spend, and
Yes,
you don't
yes.
feel limited when you save.
Yes.
That means you're financially free. Let's divide this segment. First,
Yes.
relationships. Should you date someone who is not able to spend or to save the way you're saying? And can you date someone?
You know, some of these things you have to think about them in futuristic terms. And while you're choosing or while you're settling on the person to date, it's not only the finances that you look at. And if you're to look at the finances, there is also the thought of the capability, the future capability of even managing. And this comes about when you talk about intelligence of the person.
Or which you cannot be able to establish that at the initial stages of someone.
Debatable.
Yeah?
Debatable.
Okay.
I think for you to settle on a person, the Bible itself talks about you becoming one. So are you becoming one with a quarter? You have to also look for someone you actually appreciate as a person, so that at the end of the road, you do not start looking down on this person. Because really, even if they do not have money, then there is what they bring to the table, their good nature, their good character, whatever it is they bring to the table, then that is what you will look at.
The ladies may differ with this. Hatuoi character, hatuoi mapenzi, hatuoi pesa tunataka. But anyway, leave those people. Because so, can you
Yes.
date a lady who is not financially free? That is still where I'm getting to. Because you're saying she must bring character on the table,
Yes,
right?
indeed.
You're saying she must bring love and everything that you mentioned.
Yes.
What about money?
I am still a young man. I am still trying to make ends meet. Well, I have done a little bit of myself. I think there's still a long way to go. So is she bringing the nature, the love, will it actually help the family? If she's bringing that on the table, then it's this road, us against the world. That would be my position at this point. Because I'm also being looked at by one or the other. There will always be a better man. There will always be ladies with more money than me. Then actually, what is the basis of a relationship? And indeed, if I'm not going to look at the money, then is she going to demand higher when she's not bringing more to the table? Is there an understanding? You know, that camaraderie, we can sit down and talk, this is where we are, where are we going? So it really matters more to me what you bring to the table, not necessarily financially, because that is a journey. It is, in fact, a lifelong journey that you can take together. That's my take.
You thought?
Well said, Bob. I think money, like we've always known, I think we've read about it, money does not change people. It just exposes people.
Who you are.
It just exposes who you are, you know? So choosing a partner to do life with doesn't necessarily mean they have all the money. In fact, you could be coming from a relationship where the guy was like super loaded, but didn't love you, didn't have all those things that you're looking for in a partner. But then here you have someone who doesn't have a lot of money, is not as wealthy as you would wish, but they're trying, they're showing you, you know what he's saying, character. They're showing you that they're trying. With the little that they have, you know, someone can be earning maybe 10K, and then he gives you like 2 Gs from that 10K. He says, here, you know, can go do something with it. You can see that there's effort. I think effort is the most important.
Effort.
Yeah, effort. Because as the years go by, both of you are improving, assuming this is a relationship where you've both agreed on certain principles, standards. You're both growing. Nobody remains stagnant. So maybe you do a check and you see this is we just check ourselves and we see we've been in this relationship for 5 years. How have we grown? And then you see this is a person who started from making maybe 10K a month. Now they're making 100K a month, you know. So there's always room for growth. Finances do matter, but not in the way that most people would think. Effort is more important.
Chebet, let me ask you. You're both talking very powerful words. Very powerful. But I don't know if it's what you believe in. Because I am interested in finding out for you. Between person A, who is financially free, has attained financial freedom, has the cash, and person B, who has not attained financial freedom and doesn't have the cash, As a woman, who will you fall for first? Or automatically? Or faster?
Now, Ram, you're putting me in a corner. you're boxing me in a corner. I think, honestly,
Yes.
if we get down to the, I don't know, maybe, for example, if a car, if a guy shows up with a car,
Yes.
and it's all flashy, and of course, definitely, the first thing you will see is all this assets, quote unquote. He has made it.
Yeah.
He's here making a huge and big impression on you,
Yes.
and you will definitely. You will be confused for a second. Just a second.
Let's say two men are saying the same words in the exact same way at the exact same time, but now they are two different men. One is financially free, another is not. A typical lady, who will she fall for?
A typical lady, not Chebet. A typical lady, maybe the flashy guy with the money, who has attained financial freedom.
Yes.
However,
Chebet.
if you're to take that into account a few days or a few months after that, the story will be so different, Unless this is a lady who's, of course, looking for material.
Okay. That is a
gains,
typical lady. They'll fall for the other guy. What about Chebet?
Chebet, I would say a person who has attained financial freedom is very attractive, definitely, because now kuna mashida hauna. There are problems that you don't subscribe to anymore.
That is true.
It would be easy to say, I'd like to go to Dubai tomorrow and I'll be flown to Dubai for my birthday, or as opposed to your struggling guy who can just afford to make your life easy, not even easy, can just afford a few things for you, not even to take you to places, So I would say when you come down to the nitty-gritties, as you were saying, like, who is this person? That changes the game. And am I willing to go through this journey with this person? Once you ask those questions, then you can be able to be patient as you work on the journey to financial freedom together. Yeah, I'd say that.
Bob?
I think she has actually looked at it in a manner that is out of honesty, because in the time that we're living in, let nobody lie to you. Money and happiness are almost parallel. Because...
but not synonymous.
You shouldn't call them synonymous. It's absolutely unfair, because life is about a lot of things. And now that she talks about looking at the other aspects and values that somebody is bringing to the table, she went back and brought the honesty to the table, where she said money does in fact play a factor, because maybe there's a kid involved. Maybe you want your future. Not maybe, we all want a good future for ourselves.
Yeah.
So at the end of the day, you're looking at it that you're not just dating for the sake of dating and clout and being called that you're someone's and someone's. I mean, at the end of the day, you have a future to work on. Are you wasting your time? Do you have goals yourself? And indeed, someone who is financially free, I think they're more attractive, because this and this guy are saying the same things. So I think at the end of the day, there's a foreseeable future with a person who is financially free. And even for myself, I shouldn't just work on my character. A man is has the duty to provide for his family. So if money and finances do play a part, even in relationship. It's the honest truth.
They do play a part even
Yes.
in relationships.
Yes.
I love the fact that you're saying someone who is financially free looks better. Umeona mtu ambaye amekosa pesa akipigwa picha? That's mug shot. Someone who has money taking a selfie and someone who doesn't, they look different. Sadly.
And indeed, the moguls and the people who we call celebrities, it's really not always based on the looks. Sometimes we have people who, if you removed the money, you might not approach that person. But money does, in fact, give us a standard and a way of, and even a respect that you approach somebody. So I think it's a good even investment to self, that to think that you should be financially free.
Now, we are talking about the road to financial freedom.
Yes.
And there are... there's a particular angle that I want us to approach it, still on relationships. Now, there are people who are saying, you know what, it's a road to financial freedom, can my partner help me through this journey? Because you're looking at a journey that both of you have mentioned. So you're looking at somebody who is saying, you know what, I'm not financially, I've not attained financial freedom, but I'd like to attain it with somebody. Now, first, the lady saying, I will attain financial freedom as long as I have a man. There are women who say that they cannot get a job. They will not bother. As long as they have a stable man, they're good to go. That is their road to financial freedom. And there are men who say, you know what, women come with blessings. Yeah, So, because women come with blessings. I know I may be struggling, but once I marry, I know I'll attain financial freedom. But it is not always the case. Let me get your thoughts in regards to those issues. Using relationships to attain financial freedom. Chebet.
Yeah, I think just to go back on what we had said, I'm not sure Bob understood me. This comes into, we can break it into two ways. There are people who achieve their financial freedom, like you're saying, by using, relationships, partners, or whoever they're with.
Yeah.
And then there are people who decide they're going on this journey alone. They cannot have a partner without first having money. We know them. And both sides of the coin are fine. It's up to you to choose. Am I willing to go down with Ram? Am I willing to hold Ram down until he becomes a millionaire, a billionaire? If that's not my cup of tea, that's fine. You go find your wealthy person you want to start life with. They're already there. You're not even starting life with them because they're already financially free. So the question would be, would you match up? I mean, if you want a proper relationship with them, are you gonna be able to match up to their standards? Because matches, unless it's obviously commercial, then that's also, a personal choice.
Commercial.
If it's commercial, because now if we're talking, it depends on the nature of the relationship. Because if you're talking about like a real life situation, an actual relationship where people are in love, or they're married, or they're just life partners, then that's different. Because you both have to be on the same wavelength when it comes to money, financial decisions, and and like you're saying, to answer your question about using relationships, some people are built that way. They're like, you know what, I'm starting from scratch. Let me find someone who will help me or will start with me, and then we can go together. Because the truth of the matter is, many of us like financially free people, but we're not willing to be part of their journeys. I just want a man who's already made it, he's good, looks good, akona pesa,
Tall, dark, handsome,
money
financially
is
stable.
Yes, the F is always silent. The M is silent, the moneyed part.
Money, silent.
Very silent.
But it's there somewhere.
TDHM, the M is silent. You gotta have some money in there,
Yeah.
So the people who are like that, they want to be part of your success, but not part of your journey.
The process.
Part of the process. So I think it comes down to personal choice.
There's something you
Am
said
I
there.
willing to go through this journey with you? No, I'll come back when you've already made it, which who knows if you will still want me after you've made it up there, Yeah. So it's just preference, really. It's not a principle. It's what people prefer.
But some people use relationships to get financial freedom.
Yes.
In the sense that they're lazy.
Yes.
They're lazy. They're not working.
Yeah.
Bora huyu analeta pesa, analala tu nyumbani. Yeah, but Bob, your thoughts?
I think I can forgive the ladies who are actually, in a way, working very hard, but choosing the man who is financially stable and financially free.
Why?
I would forgive them because if I was a lady and having gone through whatever type of life, you do not want to subject yourself, therefore, to a life of struggling. So to that extent, and to the extent that they have an understanding of the demands of life, and in the world that we live in, to put this into context, everything is expensive. There's inflation, and even with the provision of the funds that we are getting, I think we still need more. Therefore, I think to put it into context, I would forgive them. But as a man, relationships are not the road to financial freedom. there is almost no chance. I do not see myself going for a person because they have more money. And really, it's very rare that somebody who is younger than me will be having perhaps double, triple, a sum that can actually surprise me too much. I'm not saying that it's the case for the other gender, but I think at the end of the day, and even we go to marriage, you might even divorce. As a man, am I looking for a lady who is who has money so that after divorce I can get all this money? I mean, we've seen this in life practice, whereby somebody is getting into a marriage for the sake of after divorce, or even we find they even kill the husband for it.
So they ensure that they sign the prenup.
Yes. Actually, the law protects people in relationships, especially in the case of dissolution of the marriage. So I think at the end of the day, for a man and myself, relationships are not the path to financial freedom. However, they say that behind every successful man, there is a woman. So isn't that a road he has taken? So what role has she played? That should be my question.
That is where I'm getting men.
Yes.
Because a man is saying that I'm not yet financially stable, but in this road towards financial freedom, if I marry the right woman, she will help me achieve my goals. Because behind every man, every successful man, there is a woman. That mindset. That women come with blessings.
Agree with you 100%, Ram.
You agree with me?
150%.
I think women have an inherent capability to spend money better.
To spend or to help you.
Not their own money.
To budget.
So it's okay.
When you put your own money on the table and then you ask her to help you to budget, I assure you she will do a better job than you.
Yes. However, that is true for the most part, but it depends on who in the relationship is the better manager. You'll find someone who probably has done finance like him would be the better one. So you let the one who has the upper hand.
I'm interested in finding out who he will date if he's not yet dating. Because as a banker, women can put you down, man. A woman can put you down. So let's say you're budgeting and she tells you, no, you're banking yako watch your office. In this house, I'm in charge of the finances.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, we bring our strong points, and since we are a team, we don't have to fight over the nitty-gritties. If we can agree on this and this, ideally I won't have to go to the boys to spend the money. We have to grow, we have to invest, and these are the thoughts that once in a while I'm going to accommodate.
I think what he has said is very important. We are a team. Once that is established, especially when it comes to finances, you both know that you're on the same team, so that if she asks for something, maybe a new shoe for the birthday, or I want a birthday party, are we going to be able to do that? And then he says, maybe not now, just give me like 3 months. Once you have that open communication of where we are at with our finances, I think that is a big game changer when it comes to it's a big you just keep communicating and saying, okay, this is what we have right now, this is what is priority, and then you just keep doing those checks and balances every now and then. I think that really goes along.
And I want to bring couple goals differently, not in the sense of the people you see and you admire them. Couple goals should be personal. What do we want to achieve? Where do we want to be? I mean, where do we want our kids to go to school? What do we want to drive? How much money do we want? Do we have a retirement plan? I think these are the goals, these are the ideas that indeed a woman behind a man, it can actually take you a long way in comparison to your other counterparts.
So you're budgeting.
Budgeting. Whatever it is that someone is bringing to the table, be it I have the lesser, which I pray should never be the case. Because even we have to look at the life we live, the context. We are in Nairobi, so we have to be honest with ourselves and the situation that life demands. So we are heading towards a goal, a target, but at the end of the day, we are in a larger context. How are men viewed? What are the responsibilities of men? What will she do if I don't provide for that kid?
But will you be comfortable being with a woman who is financially free more than you?
Well, I did imply initially.
You kind of implied that.
I would
that
not be comfortable. However, there's the respect that comes in between you two. And when you're relating with the other person, it's not always just about the romance. This is someone you will live with for the rest of your life. You have to find a ground of understanding. And that is what will actually help this relationship.
But you won't have an understanding of this case here. Will you?
We'll need to have a meeting of minds. Which again, I hope never to be the case. But should I ever find myself in such a situation? I am a man with big dreams. We all people with dreams and things we wanted to achieve as we were growing up. So I think this person can actually bring in the focus and remind you of the person that you really are. And I think a woman and another person has the ability to see you, sometimes aspects of you that indeed you never thought you had. So if she sees a CEO in you, then I think I'll...
All right, I'm being told that we need to take a break, and then we will come back. I'm already seeing people already commenting on our Facebook platform here. Kuna mtu anasema ati anataka stress ya World Cup hiyo ninamaliza saa hizi. I want us to take a short break, and then we'll be back. After this break, we'll be tackling more about financial stability, and we will talk about what about budgeting. Do you struggle with budgeting? What about loans? Saa hizi umepokea message ya wanakupigia simu, they're calling you and you're not picking their calls. How far are you on your road towards financial freedom? Talk to me. The hashtag, as always, is part of the show. We are taking a short break. We'll be back in a bit. Welcome back. This is still Power Talk Show. It's a pleasure being with you. And of course, if at all you're just joining us, we are talking about financial freedom, the road to financial freedom. How far are you on this road? What are you doing to get to your destination? This is Power Talk. It's a pleasure being with you. And of course, I am with Bob and Chebet in this discussion. Before we took that break, we were talking about yes. How people use relationships to build themselves, which you are saying is a no-go zone. Do not do that. Yeah. So let me take a look at what you guys are saying on Facebook. Eliud Munala, and some following from Twapa, Mombasa. Hey, thank you so much, Eliud. I appreciate that. This is Alkinis Rashid, and some very impressive. Mleji Rabai Nico locked in. Thank you so much. What are you impressed with? Specify. Is it the show? Is it Chebet? Joe Kaka asema ati partner hii uchumi hairuhusu partnership admin tafadhali. Eric King Eric anasema ako ndani. Asante sana. Thanks so much to Vincent Oguta, anasema powerful, watching from Kiambu County, locked in. Felix Kirui anasema si ungengoja tumalize World Cup sasa na amani tafadhali. Hii maneno ya financial freedom inamaliza watu. But the hustle of fun imetokelezea. Maybe you can use that to attain financial freedom. We shall sample more of your feedback as you continue with this discussion. But of course, head over to Facebook. That's at Y254. Ensure that you let us know where you're watching us from. And of course, thank you so much to everybody that is tuned in and participate in that discussion that we've posted on our Facebook page. The road to financial freedom. Now, let's move on to something else. Excuse me. Now, there are people who want to make money quickly. They get into funny businesses. leta hii uleta wawili ikuwe kama mguu mbili. Those who understand what I'm saying, you know what I'm saying. How can we avoid this? Because we all want to attain financial freedom, but there is this aspect of conmanship that is there, trying to get money quickly, wash, getting sponsors, getting into fraudulent businesses. How can we avoid this? Let's talk about that. Things that we should not do that definitely don't end up in financial freedom. Chebet.
We all want to be financially free, like you've said. Everyone's goal, I think, in this world, whichever way you look at it, is to be financially free. You know, in one way or another. Some people don't want to be too wealthy, but they still want to be free, you know, to be able to do this and that. Just live a comfortable life, if you may. I think once you put in place what you're willing to do for that and what you're not willing to do for that, I think that will give you some clarity. Because at the end of the day, you can get there so quickly, and you're using, you know, all these funny methods. But then everything in life has a consequence. Everything has a consequence. So are you, after you've done that, will you live with the consequence? Are you going to be happy with what will come after that? And then will you even be able to like, how are you going to live life? Will you say this is my wealth and you clearly know this is not your wealth? You know, there's so much beauty in going through something, like, for example, you know, getting into business, alafu you probably find a challenge, you conquer that, you go to the next challenge, you conquer that. By the time you're being financially free, you truly are financially free. Not at there are cases behind you. Sometimes kuna mapolisi. Will you even enjoy your wealth? You know, the point is not even to just be financially free. It is to enjoy. I think to be able to enjoy that,
the wealth you acquired.
to enjoy the wealth you've acquired, is part of financial freedom. People don't talk about that. They think it's just a get rich quick type of scheme. As long as I have money, nitoke kwa hii mashida, so that I can be able to afford this and that, go here and there, so that people can be able to see me as I'd like them to see me. You know,
living within your means.
You know, they want to be able to live life and live large. But at the end of the day, what are the consequences? Are you gonna be happy with that, with what you've done? With, you know, if you got your wealth through very funny methods, are you going to be happy? Will you live with yourself? And then, even if you live with yourself, there's some people whose conscience is already seared. They don't care about. They don't care about that. So, but are you gonna be able to enjoy? Ama ni kukimbia away from policy and you know, just making sure you're not caught by the government, or you know, you just are you even happy?
Are you free?
Are you free? Are you happy with your money? Is your money giving you happiness? I think that's a very big question to ask yourself. You already have the money, yes, you're already free financially. Are you happy? Are you enjoying that money?
And how would you define, you know, freedom? How would you define? Is that what freedom means for you?
Yes, I think freedom is, this is my money. I worked for this. No one can
take it away from me.
And nobody can say anything contrary to this being my, you know, finances or my money or my wealth. If you can get to that place, you are financially free.
I have seen young people who have money, and I'm asking myself questions. Anyway, Bob.
The road to financial freedom is hurdled with a lot of lessons. And these lessons are the ones which are going to help you when you get there to actually sustain your wealth, to actually grow it, and even to make sure that nobody can take it from you. So, I don't know, in this period of World Cup, who has won a bet? Well, we have a lot of upheavals. You are expecting this to win. A few are winning. But if you have ever won a bet, I wonder what you've ever done with the money. Because a windfall does not come with a budget. it does not come with a plan. More often than not, you do not even need that money. Well, we'll always need money, but a windfall is rarely budgeted for because you do not expect it, and you're doing guesswork.
Even spending it.
Yeah.
Yes, you're doing guesswork. So at the end of the day, when it comes, you spend it. You have nothing to show for it. And you're left with, in the case of where people are actually doing activities that will end up eating them up and police coming after them, you end up having cases following you. So I think at the end of the day, this is not true freedom unless the money comes and in a legal, legitimate manner and in a way that even the KRA and everyone can actually account for it and you can move forward without looking back. We all have to have a bottom line. We all have to have at least the values that actually drive us. So as we are looking for money, I know the things that I can do, but I know what I will do with the money when it comes. And that is because I know how much I'm going to work for it.
Yeah. And it's not stolen money.
And it's not stolen
your
money.
money.
It's your money, which is why when you learn how to actually when you're actually financially literate, then there are decisions, financial decisions, which you're going to make, which are going to be different, absolutely different from the person who just gets money they have not worked for.
And you know, at this point, I'd like to say it's very important for many youth to understand this. Be careful not to reap where you did not sow.
Yes.
Because that's where you bring problems in your life.
Yes.
You want to reap where you did not sow. You want to earn from another man's sweat.
Yeah, but I can say many people need to sit down and have a discussion on finances, because we come out of schools, be it campus, be it high schools, disillusioned with the idea that we are coming now from a place of people see it as a prison, and now you're going to be free to make your decisions. What decisions will you make without money? People end up being disillusioned, discouraged. They give up on their dreams because they really do not have an idea of how to make money, what to do with it,
and how to keep, after the money has come, how to use it and keep it even.
Yes, that's the financial literacy that is lacking in our society. People end up being discouraged. You end up doing drugs. You never have a way to come out of it. I think at the end of the day, financial literacy should be a topic that everyone should get involved in discussions and teaching our children and our people as we're growing up.
You have a point to add there?
I think just to add on that, it is so important for us to educate ourselves on money and finances. That area is really lacking in schools, in unis, you name it, so many institutions.
Should be like in the curriculum or something.
Even at the workplace, there should be seminars where, you know, people get educated on financial freedom. What we're talking about here is so important. This discussion is not being had enough out there. People just assume, they just go through life guessing what to do about money, this and that. That shouldn't be the case. There are people who've already unlocked financial freedom, now, and those those lessons need to trickle down, and just let's just keep it flowing.
And now speaking of things that are flowing, there are those who are getting into loans and out, in and out every month. So I take a loan, end the month I get my salary, pay that loan, take another loan to replace that initial loan. So it's a cycle, and you want to attain financial freedom, but it's impossible. You know, it's a hurdle. Let's talk about this aspect of loans, kwamba vijana, mobile apps, banking, whichever.
I think one ends up in a form of a prison. We are talking about freedom here. And in this case, you know that you will get money at the end of the day, but you will have to pay a loan. So where is the investment? Where is the savings? Where is the emergency funds? Where is your budgeting? Where is your bills? So you will have to get to take another loan to finance these things, which is why financial freedom leads you to a point where you don't even need these loans anymore. Actually, you should not take a loan that you do not have a plan for. It's not because your credit score is good. A loan can be good. Is it because you're Wanjiko who wants to add to her makeup brushes? Or is it because you're Wanjiro who wants to go out with her girls? Why are you taking this loan? So if it's going to make more money, loans, I'm in the banking sector. So I know what loans can do to people, positive and also negative. So I have seen people establish businesses, someone who would be doing something very small without a premises, come up and actually become a big name you advertise, people know you, you bring out your skills, then that loan went to good uses. But if you're actually going to take a loan and it goes to a liability whereby you're going to need more money for this, and the loan, the money will not make more money, then I think that's a bad decision. And as a youth, do we really have enough money to get into such kind of a situation? So I think it's a bad place to be.
Very good question. As a young person, do you have money to be borrowing loans for? By the time like you said, a loan is not necessarily a bad thing. If it's gonna make, more money for you, go ahead and get it, and then put it into your business or whatever you're putting into. That's gonna, if you're buying a car and then it's gonna do taxi.
So a loan should be taken not for a liability but for an asset.
Yes.
Is that what you say?
That's exactly what he said. That's just the bottom line.
Because a loan in itself is a liability.
It's already a liability.
It has to make an asset.
You should be taking it for an asset, not for the same.
Yeah, and then there's one thing I really want to bring out in this matter of financial freedom. One time I listened to a lady called Dr. Cindy Trim. She's a religious leader, and also she speaks about these things. So she said, if you want to, I think one of the ways to unlock financial freedom is to have many sources of income. Because what we have in the society right now is we're depending on maybe a salary, one salary that is coming in at the end of the month, and it's supposed to take care of about 10 bills. It's supposed to pay rent, it's supposed to pay electricity, it's supposed to pay water, it's supposed to pay fees, it's supposed to, by the transport. By the time you sit, you have nothing left to yourself. You've just become a shell of yourself because you work so hard and there's nothing that comes from that. So if people could be educated more on, fine, I'm working, but can I also have like maybe 2 businesses on the side? I mean, Cindy Trim did point out that you need 7 sources of outcome. So you're here as a news anchor, there's a car doing taxi for you, there's a place you've opened, maybe a mitumba shop, you have a little restaurant somewhere or a stall. I think if people were educated more on being able to put their hands all over, I think that would make, it's just like a tree basically. The roots are all in, and then the tree comes out so strong, and it's, now you're this one person, you're so strong because your roots are deep and they're everywhere. They're just sucking water for you from every corner. So I think it's so important to also think about that. Yeah.
Wow. I'm being told time is not on our side.
Okay.
So we need to wrap it up. So I want to give you both time to have a final word. I will start with you, Bob. That's your camera now. We've talked about so many things when it comes to financial freedom, but we have not, it cannot end today. There are so many things that we still have not talked about, but I just want to give you a time to have a final word, a parting shot, within just 30 seconds or so, to talk to those who are watching you today.
Okay, thank you very much. So I will take from where she has left when she talks about having 7 sources of income. And indeed, it's very liberating when one business supports the other, when you have about 5 of those 7 actually bringing in a lot of money. And the people who have money will not tell you this because they want to keep the money to themselves. So I think we should actually learn to be investing and using the money that we have to actually make more money. And this is actually referred to as the third wonder of the world, the compounding aspect of money and interest. So if you can take the little that you have, let it make more money for you, let what you get make more money for you, you will have a life of wonder and happiness. My take on financial freedom is that it leads to happiness, stability, security, everything you need. At least you need to have freedom, financial freedom.
Thank you so much. Chebet.
Thank you so much. I would say all of us want financial freedom. That is our aim, our goal. It would be our happiness. But ask yourself, am I willing to put in the work, number one? And then surround yourself with people that are already financially free. Be around wealthy people, rich people. They think different. They live different. Yani you go to their houses, it is so different from how people who are still struggling live. And it's not even about having the wealth and flashy things. Their mindset is number one thing to financial freedom. Once your mindset is changed, and it can be changed by being around those people, educating yourself, wanting to know more about how to be financially free, you know, many sources of income. Once you do these things, they add to your journey to that freedom becomes better, faster. You know, you just keep walking towards that place. So yeah, I'd say that. Thank you.
Wow. Thank you so much. That is Chebet Cheres Sylvia. Is it Cheres?
Cheres.
That's a media practitioner, and Bob Kiiru Minor, who is a banker and a law student. Thank you so much for making time. I love that discussion. It was good.
Thank you so much for having us.
Mbarikiwe sana.
Asante sana.
Now, I want us to bring this discussion to a close, and as we do so, quote of the day. Remember, we are talking about the road to financial freedom. These are quote by Robert Kiyosaki. I love this guy, by the way. I love this guy. So he said, and if you don't know Robert Kiyosaki, go check his book, Rich Dad, Poor Dad. There was a time we had a debate. So he said this, and I quote, "It's not how much money you make, but how much money you keep, how hard it works for you, and how many generations you keep it for." And that is what brings us to the end of this evening conversation right here on Power Talk. It has been a pleasure being with you. One thing that I always say, keep God first. Remember to pay your tithe. My name is Aguko. This is Power Talk.